Hi, my name is Anushka Patel, and I am the co-editor-in-chief of the Westford Academy Ghostwriter. Today, we will be talking to sophomore Aileen Langenfeld. COVID-19 had a tremendous impact on everyone. Specifically, for many high school students, COVID-19 took a large toll on mental health as students were taken out of school abruptly, forced to deal with educational, social problems, among many. For many, in order to cope with the new way of life, high school students took up hobbies. For Aileen, she explored her musical interests through ukulele playing, singing, and songwriting. Hi, Aileen.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Aileen. I am a sophomore at Westford Academy.
Okay, so my first question for you today is when school first shut down because of COVID, how did you feel? How was your life affected?
I think at first it didn't feel super real. Like it was like, oh, like cool, we get like a couple day break. Um, and then that break just kept on getting extended. And at first it was fine, like the first couple days, like chilling, getting to relax. But very quickly I got very bored of it, and it was very hard not being able to like go out and see friends or go and hang out with someone like in public. We were stuck at home, which was challenging.
Yeah, completely agree. So how has COVID-19 allowed you to explore your musical interests?
So I think I've been playing the ukulele since 8th grade, and like I'd had time to like practice, but like COVID quarantine like gave me a ton of time. So I would like play it every day and work on it, and I like felt myself improve, which just like felt very good. It felt like I was accomplishing something.
So, how did playing the ukulele and singing and songwriting, which we'll talk later about in this interview, how did they help you deal with the new way of life?
For one thing, they're just a great distraction where if I was getting too anxious or thinking too much and my brain was spiraling, I could pick up the ukulele and start playing a song and kind of get lost in that instead of forced to think about all the negative things going on. And uh, also through songwriting, like that was a good way, a good outlet to express how I was feeling in like a productive way.
hmm So, why the ukulele?
So, I wanted to learn guitar, but then I found out the guitar has 6 strings and the ukulele has 4, and I thought, like, why not start easier first and
Yeah.
then, like, transition to the guitar? So I've been working a bit on guitar, but ukulele's my favorite, because it's not as challenging as the guitar would be.
So, you said that you chose the ukulele because it was sort of a beginner instrument to get you to more complicated ones. What
Yeah.
inspired you to take up playing the ukulele?
One of my best friends got one, and I heard her playing, and I was like, "Oh, dude, like that's cool." But then a singer I listen to a lot, called Cave Town, uses a ukulele in a lot of his songs, and so I kind of had the mindset that like, oh, like if I get a ukulele, I can like play his songs, which is cool. And so I got one for Christmas, and it was great.
That's awesome. Okay, so now transitioning to more about your songwriting and singing, how have you developed your songwriting and singing? Because I know that you were a little on the beginning side of songwriting and singing before quarantine. So, how did quarantine help you develop these skills?
I think, well, for one, like I said before, I had a lot of extra time to sit around and think. And I kind of used songwriting as an outlet where I wouldn't be like, oh, it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, so I have to songwrite. It would be more like I'd have a burst of emotion, and that emotion would need to be let out somehow. And so I started doing that first through writing like poetry, and that kind of transitioned to music as I got better at the ukulele. And so it wasn't like a schedule thing where like once a week I do it, but whenever I felt like that need for release, songwriting was a great outlet for that.
And so I know that you're doing WADA, Westford Academy Theater Arts. Are there any other hobby or other clubs and extracurriculars that you do that allow you to channel your musical interests?
I'm also in Walkapella, which is fun. We get to sing a lot, even though it's virtual. It's still very nice to like get that out, like get a place to sing like with a group of people, so it's not just you alone all the time.
hmm And then obviously WADA, you how's your involvement in WADA? What is your involvement in WADA?
Um, I'm in Songs for a New World, which is a production that I think we're pulling together by the end of February break. And I'm in the ensemble and the transition ensemble, so that's been a great place to again like sing and act and do theater. Like even though most of it's virtual, like it's still a chance to interact with others, which doesn't happen as often anymore these days.
So going back to songwriting and singing, what is your style? Is there a specific genre of music that you enjoy? Um,
I like a lot of different things. I have a very like wide taste. I like a lot of like acoustic songs, like with just ukulele, or indie pop is also a good fun thing for me to listen to. So those are my two main.
so based on your New York Times article, the one that talks about you and your singing and songwriting and ukulele playing, um, your parents were able to connect with you through music. So could you talk a little bit about that and how music helped you get closer to your family?
Yeah. Um So during quarantine was when I first decided I wanted to get my music out somewhere where like sure I'd like played for my family and like different like friends, but I wanted with they were very encouraging about the idea of me making a YouTube channel, and they were very supportive through all that and en- continued to like encourage me and push me forward, which really helped with some of the motivation and the nerves of like putting it out there. So I did successfully like make a YouTube channel and post my first video, which was exciting.
So, as I said earlier, COVID-19 has impacted everyone's mental health in some way. How has music helped you with your mental health?
Um, it's definitely something that does help. I think music's a great thing for moments when I'm having a really hard time and I'm like stuck really feeling down low. Um, I can be able to turn on my headphones and just listen to something and or start playing the ukulele or singing something. And as I said kind of before, it's kind of like a distraction from all the bad because I feel like when I'm immersed in the world of music, like my thoughts aren't on that those negative things anymore. They're just focused on the music, and that's really helpful, kind of like an escape.
Yeah, yeah. So what advice do you have for anyone struggling with mental health issues or simply looking for a hobby?
For mental health, I think I know it's said so often, but you're not alone, and there are so many people that you have no idea how much they're struggling. But I do think I know again it's said a lot. It's important to reach out, like to someone, a trusted adult, a friend, a family member, because that extra support can really be helpful and be a step towards you feeling better. And for starting a hobby, I mean, um, try new things. Like I mean, a couple years ago, I could never imagine myself like actually playing an instrument, but like try new things and see what like appeals to you. You could find something you're really passionate about.
Okay, so thank you so much. Before we go, I believe that your role model is Mr. Towers, the WADA teacher at Westford Academy. And you told me before that he inspired a song of yours called Ephemeral. So would you mind describing the song, the meaning behind it, and then would you mind playing a little bit of it for us?
Sure. Yeah. Um, so ephemeral is a word that I was taught by Mr. Towers a couple summers ago at the theater camp SSPA he runs. Um, and at the time, like I heard it and I thought, oh, like that's a cool word. It means temporary, like not lasting for a long time. And so like I had that word in my head, and I don't know, I think of it every once in a while, but when COVID hit and quarantine started, it was very, very easy to start feeling like hopeless and going down that road of like, oh, this is unknown, like we don't know what's going to happen. And so what I would tell myself in those hard times, I would think back to that word ephemeral and think about how, this is temporary and the struggles that we're going through are temporary. And even though it feels eternal right now, it won't last forever. And that kind of that mindset kind of helped with like the feeling of endlessness and overwhelmedness. And so that's what inspired my song that I put on YouTube. Um, and I can play a bit if you want. Got my ukulele here. I remember when things felt normal and I wasn't stuck in this tiny cell. Days pass so slow, there's nowhere to go. With my thoughts, I'm left to dwell. Hang on, I get that it's hard. Like everything you know's falling apart. You'll make it out, I cross my heart. Hang on, just another night. New horizons will be in sight. Keep your head up, you'll be alright. And that's just a little excerpt. You could find the whole thing on my YouTube channel, Aileen Lang Music.
Yes, I'll definitely link it in the description box. That was beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
really hope that this year you're able to further explore your musical interests and that it's a great year for your musical career.
Thank you.
A huge thank you to Aileen for talking to us about her passions for ukulele playing, singing, and songwriting. If you want to learn more about Aileen, check out her YouTube channel in the link in our description, as well as check out the New York Times article about her quarantine experience.